Mr. Green,
You're looking sharp.
always glad to have you up here, sir.
Thank you, counselors. Good evening to everybody. I'm not sure I deserve top billing on this. LaShonda and her team have done all the heavy lifting to get us to this point. But she likes to see me suffer, so here I am. So we've got a couple things with this. This is our fleet service assistant job classification. A couple of points with this is first, the job descriptions have been modified to update them with what our guys are currently doing today. This is our part of our team that handles much of our preventive maintenance service, our mobile fueling supply. They also handle all of our onboarding of new equipment processing, just to name a few things that happen in this group. So as we were going through and updating the job description, we also asked LaShonda and her team if they would evaluate the compensation as it compares to today's industry standards. And that is where we found our salaries in this section to be a little bit low. So that's the second part of what comes to you and your attention today for consideration is the pay grade change along with the changes in the job description itself. What questions can I answer?
Well, just a question now, we pretty much train these people, is that correct?
That's correct.
Well, we certainly want to keep them after we train them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Comments, fellas, questions? Motion?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Thanks, sir.
Passes.
Thank you,
Appreciate all
Councilor.
y'all
Yes,
do.
sir. Really do. Okay, now it's your turn.
I don't want to steal Selma's thunder. I know how much you love it. Okay, well,
Spotlight.
I know. Well, good afternoon, council and mayor. This is a request for a contract with PlanSource. PlanSource is the benefits administration service that we use. So when our employees enroll for benefits, whether it be open enrollment or they have a life event, they use this system. Also, this company also will help with reporting that is required due to the ACA. There are requirements for reporting that the IRS has.
It's just the same company we've been using. And
So what is happening, there is basically a transfer of business. The company that we use, they're transferring the business to this company because they're no longer using, they're no longer going to service groups our size.
Okay, I make a motion.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
There
you.
you go. Okay. Ms. Franks. Yeah, there you go. I lost you for a second.
Good afternoon again. Okay, so first up, I have Safari Tacos and Grill. They are applying for a restaurant retail liquor license. They're going to be located at 1759 Skyland Boulevard East, and they will be open every day from 11 to 9. Here's the aerial view of it. So you can see it's at the end of the shopping center on Skyland where the thrift store, Dollar General, Beauty Marcus. It was a Mexican restaurant. So it's been a Mexican restaurant.
Forever.
Is it the
For
same
years.
people?
Since it was,
No, so this is, I think, the fourth owner within 5
Okay.
years.
yeah.
Okay?
And they're, okay, that was my next question, because it
Yes.
seemed like a prior owner wanted to turn it into
It's a long
something
time.
More of a
else.
bar,
Yeah.
restaurant. Mhm. Yes.
That was a while back.
So they're capped at 150. And the applicant is not here. So do you have any questions for me that maybe I could answer for you?
I make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All
Okay. Next up, I have Party Down LLC doing business as Kentuck Arts Festival, applying for a special retail more than 30 days. This is going to take place down at Kentuck, 1901 Jack Warner Parkway, and it's capped at 120.
Any questions?
We missed that.
So this,
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
so this will be a 160 license, similar to like what we have at the River Market, the Anna Washington Cultural Arts Center, Bryant Conference Center. It'll be for hosting things like First Friday and then special events as they see fit. Like they're gonna do the Kentucky Arts Festival VIP dinner there this year, instead of having to take it to someone's house or rent another venue for it.
Okay, so you can get a license that'll cover you all year round?
That's
for
what that special,
events,
Mhm.
not the 7-day only?
yes, sir. So this is more than 30 days, so it's all year round.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that
Okay,
passes.
thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Pons, Ms. Kreitz, whoever, are y'all gonna tag
We're gonna
things?
tag team this today, since especially we're just going for discussion purposes today. And we brought props. Everyone loves a prop.
We like props.
We're gonna post them up so you can look at them while we talk today. Yes, beautiful. All right, council, I know on your agenda this afternoon, that's gonna fall over. We're gonna talk about urban development fees. Again, we're just opening this point of discussion. Today, Mr. Moore, I think, even commented, he says, oh, since 2008, even before 2008, we haven't touched the fees in the planning office for many, many moons. And it's time to have a conversation about them, to look towards increasing them possibly a little bit, to cover what they actually cost to develop, or not to develop, but to have these boards and applications. So I'll go through the quick history and turn it over to Mr. Pons. But of course, urban development has 3 boards and commissions. We've got the Historic Preservation Commission, our Planning and Zoning, and our Zoning Board of Adjustment. Of course, these boards meet once a month. Usually, I don't think we've canceled a meeting for anybody, not since I've been around. And so they meet monthly. There are applications every month. And our fee schedule that you see on the screen, the last one that we had that we could find a hard copy on that said last updated was February of 2012. I can think of one time that we added a fee in 2017. That was the short-term rental application fee that got added for Zoning Board of Adjustment, but we're not really sure when it happened beforehand. Since February of 2012, the price of first-class mail, of course, has increased from 45 cents to 78 cents, about 75% increase. And that, of course, is paid not by the applicant right now, but by our budget, which comes from the taxpayers. And then certified mailings have increased to $7.38 per mailing, and that is a over 120% increase from what's on that 2012 schedule. Those do come from, that does get paid by the applicant, but we need a way to solidify that it's to be in accordance with what the United States Postal Service is charging, and we don't have to update that regularly. So that piece of it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so as you can see, we brought you physical copies of what's on the screen. So we are updating our signs. These will be what we're going with. We actually have a 4th sign that we just created with Ms. Richard Gilmore's team, and Huey. He was a great help on this project as well. But you can see in that photo, those are our old signs. They really, I mean, you have to have building inspectors go out there, slam them in the ground with a pole digger. I don't even know what they do. Essentially, they're huge metal signs.
They tend to get forgotten too. You don't see them immediately, is what we keep hearing from folks.
Right.
I have one laying on the ground in my district.
Do you? Well, I'll get with you to find out where it is.
Yeah. But anyway, these will be a lot more user-friendly. They'll be more visible. You can identify more so what is being requested. H for historic, Z for zoning.
Well, they certainly don't blend in.
Right.
Exactly.
That's the goal.
The goal is to have something eye-catching and something quick that shows you can get to a QR code, or you can get to a phone number or a website to reach out to folks and find out what's going on the piece of property. And this is far more consistent. We borrowed this idea from Atlanta, who has seen much success in their use of colorful signs with eye-catching letters to help drag people's attention to what's going on in a property, as opposed to a metal street sign that blends in. So it is time to do something new in urban development.
Right, and so $37.41 is what we were priced for, like the bulk signage that we would be recouping back from, or the goal is to recoup that back from the applicant in most cases. So again, 3 different boards and commissions. We'll go through Historic Preservation Commission first. So you can see on the left, in the middle column, you've got the existing fees and then what we're proposing. So on average, the certificate of appropriateness would be around $150 if you take the cost of 100 plus the sign, which is about 37, and then the mailing costs. But you can see the actual cost of each case that the taxpayers are paying, which is $735 on average per case. And so we kind of want to get closer to that number to recoup some of that cost as we're going through with the applicants. And then Planning and Zoning Commission, again, that middle column is what we currently have. Proposed fees is on that your right-hand side. So I guess you can see on the rezonings, we're kind of simplifying it, 0 to 40 acres, $500, and then anything more, $750, rather than that 3, 4, 5, 6 step. And then again, on that bottom portion of this screen, you can see the actual cost is about $800 per case. And again, just to clarify what goes into that, I mean, we're working with the applicant literally from the date of application, prior to the date of application all the way to the meeting itself, communicating with them, working with professionals on, reviewing their plans and things like that, and telling them, hey, we need a little more information here. And so it's a lot, but as we move into the Zoning Board of Adjustment, you can see kind of what we're looking to do here as well. And again, $578 per case. So we're trying to get closer to that per case average that we have.
And this is, again, just for discussion purposes today. We've reached out to the stakeholder groups. The only group so far that has asked for a meeting has been the home builders. We're meeting with them on Thursday about this topic.
Nobody wants the price of anything to go up, and I understand that.
For sure.
But I also understand, just with some things in my district, y'all have spent a lot of hours on, and they never happen. Or they really get drug out or whatever. And y'all could be doing something else, frankly. I know they're gonna complain, but if all we're doing is charging them the cost, I personally don't have a problem with that.
I was surprised at how low
Yeah.
the fees were. I met with Zach last week. I have no problems with it. It was just for discussion today, right?
Yeah, we'll ask y'all if you want to table it until, I know you're not meeting on the 17th, so if we wanted to table until that first week in April, that would be excellent. Give us a lot of time for anybody.
Mr. Budge?
Yeah, and I commend y'all for kind of reconfiguring this as a discussion, because I think that'll set it up smoother. One of the things that struck me when I looked at it is, while we may not have made price adjustments since 2012, and we need to look at increasing some of those prices, I think some of those are multiples, going up 4 times what they were. Okay. And that makes it difficult, particularly after we just had similar discussions related to what to charge for our right-of-way usage for outdoor cafes, and what to charge apartment rentals. In both of those cases, which are money makers, those are money makers. We gave heed to, you can't just come in and increase it by double or triple. So of course, it's most of the historic HPC that I'm looking at, and that's not generally, somebody's making sure the shutters they're replacing match the color and the material. That's not a moneymaker. That's a compliance issue. And as we move out of, as we consolidate the discussion thoughts and move out of it, if there's any way we could attach some of these fees to the value of the work being considered. That,
Okay.
to me, would be.
We can
a win.
examine that.
I mean, the guy putting 2 new shutters on an old house, not the same as
A
some
whole
of the
new
other ones.
construction or, yeah, that's,
And then I would, I certainly understand and empathize with, it would be nice if all city services covered the cost of providing.
sure.
Some of them are not, and these are, a lot of these are the ones that aren't.
Right.
Where they're big money items, they should. And I hope that we can come up with some way of associating the value of the work being considered with the fees.
Thank you for that. Well, I'll circle back to you. I've got some ideas I'd like to bounce off of you on that.
About how much time do you think you put into something? If somebody, say, Mr. Busby lives in the historic district, if he needed some new shutters, how much time would be put into that?
So, and I think Mr. Pons and I were talking about that before this meeting, actually. It varies board to board. With the Historic Preservation Commission, often we're dealing with an individual homeowner like Mr. Busby, who all he wants to do is change out 2 shutters on his house. And he wants to go from these vinyl shutters that were there to put beautiful cedar shutters on. And what do you mean I've got to go through the Historic Preservation Commission and show you all of these things? And so oftentimes there's a lot of back and forth with your average homeowner just to explain processes. When you get to something like the Planning and Zoning Commission, many times we're dealing with design professionals who it's not their first rodeo. And so many times they apply, we provide comment back, they provide a revision, we see them at the meeting. And so I don't know that there really is an average, long story short.
True. Okay, that's reasonable.
Actually, what I would also look at in terms of recovering genuine cost is the cost of not going forward. Okay, because
yeah.
I'm telling you, take a walk on a Sunday evening.
Mhm.
They're up there on the roofs, adding rooms.
Mhm.
They're doing it. And I'll tell you where after the meeting.
I was gonna say, please do.
But there needs to be a cost of these are mostly people coming in from out of town.
Yeah,
And they're bringing their crews with them.
working fast to avoid
They're
us.
working fast, and you blink your eyes, and there's a room on that house that wasn't on there.
Yes, sir.
I do have one question about the signs and the postage. Not so much the cost, but a lot of elderly people do live in my district and they don't know much about a QR code. Does that notice go out before the sign? Because I can see a sign going out and I'm getting 1,000 calls before the actual
Yeah,
notice
we-
goes out. What's the timing on
We
it?
have gotten into a much better place where, especially because the United States Postal Service is so inconsistent. So the mailings consistently will go out. We've gotten the timing down a little bit better where we're sending the mailings, waiting a couple days, putting the
Okay.
sign out so they
Okay,
time better.
okay,
It's been some artwork.
okay.
And
So I know
to your-
some of the people, older people, they do. I've seen them stop, pull on the side of the road and pick up a piece of paper
Yes,
out
sir.
of a little box, so.
Yeah, and to your point, we do have the QR code, but we also will have like the location of the meeting
Okay.
and
Phone
the
numbers.
phone number, email,
Okay.
everything like that. We're trying to get as much information on this sign as possible without muddying it up.
Good work.
Any other
Oh, thanks.
questions? Okay, so we can come back in April sometime, and in the meantime, we might discuss it a little bit more.
Absolutely. We're happy to.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
y'all.
Thank you. Would anybody like, I don't believe we have anything else on the agenda. Do you fellows have anything you want to bring